Good evening, viewer at home, and welcome on another edition of our daily program, Journalist Perspective, on EKTV Channel 41. Journalist Perspective is a program designed for journalists to come together, to have one or two words to say, to have their input as regards issues that are happening in our society. So, and on this program, we invite journalists together from all print, broadcast. We come together to say one or two things from our mind, because when we go there to report issues, to cover events, we do not have say. But here on this program, we might be able to relax ourselves and say, okay, this is how we see things, not the way those outside there would see it. So my name is Olushola Thomas, and on the program today I have two guests. On my right, I have the State Chairperson of the National Association of Women Journalists, Mrs. Adewumi Ademiju. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, to my left, I have the Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, BSCS Chapel, Kelechi David. Kelechi, you're welcome on the program.
Thank you, Thomas. Good evening. You are at home.
Yeah, together we shall be looking at two issues. The first issue is, this is political season is fast approaching. 2027 is fast approaching, and there are some things that are happening in the political circle. So late last week, I think we have the formation of a particular political party. We have people coming together to say, let us make a change. We need a change in this country, and that is coming together to form a political party, a coalition. The party they came out with African Democratic Congress. So we shall be looking at that. And the second issue is the court order that the Senate should recall Senator Akpoti Natasha from the 6 months suspension placed on her. These are the two issues that we shall be looking at today. So, Kelechi, association of politicians coming together from different angles to form coalition ahead of 2027. How do you see this development?
It's a good development, and it's good for democracy. Democracy will thrive when the opposition is strong enough to be able to challenge the party that is directing the affairs of the state. And if you look at the coalition that we're having, it happened in 2014 when different political parties came together to form All Progressives Congress then, and they eventually gave birth to President Muhammadu Buhari, and the subsequent one we have a President Bola Tinubu. And this time around, some politicians are coming together to say, okay, let us give a good fight to the government, to the party in the aims of affair. Let's give a good fight to them and see if we can rescue power. It's a good development, but I have my own reservation.
Okay.
The reservation is that the people who are coming together, what is their mindset? And I've listened to them. The only thing they say is want to take power, want to do this. That is their focus. So they are not really telling us the alternative thing that they have, that they want to
do differently.
They want to do differently. And those people who are coming together are also who have in one way or the other be leaders in this country, and during their time we know what they did. So, and personally, that is my reservation about them. And I as Kelechi David, I don't see them coming to do anything different from what they have done before.
Do you have to preempt? At least too early to preempt.
I'm not trying to preempt, but I'm trying to say that according to my mind, because they've been given the opportunity.
Like they are antecedents.
Yes, they've been given the opportunity to rule. Some of them have been governors in their states, some even the vice president of the country, some have been ministers for 8 years, and
House of Assembly,
Senate presidents, and and they have the opportunity to give that change they want at that time. And if they didn't do it, so maybe they just want to be serve the purpose. I don't know if they are coming to serve as Godfather, then push new faces. But if it's still the same set of people, I don't see anything that is going to be different.
Yes, now what chairperson, he said something, they're coming together, and he made reference to 2013-2014, the merger of CPC, ACN, APGAV, and faction from PDP and the likes that now form the APC. So now this is coalition, individuals coming together, unlike that time we have party. So how do you see this?
Okay, when this is kind of thing that is expected on preparation for another political dispensation. So there will be a lot of political activities and political drama. But the question is that looking at this present coalition, the question that comes to the mind is that is politics now is being done in the interest of the people or the interest of the politicians? Because looking at the political bigwigs that form the coalition, we discover that is it the former governor Rotimi Amechi, the Labour Party presidential candidates, and so many of them like that, former governor Rauf Aregbesola, all of them, those political bigwigs, look at them, they all have political ambitions, and their political ambitions is presidency. All of them at least many of them have become former presidential candidates in the last election. And one thing is that you discover that despite the fact that they have just they just formed this coalition, each of them have started campaigning their presidential ambition. The coalition that form APC, the merger of APC, those political parties that came together at that time, if you remember, you discover that as at that time, those people, they were about wrestling power from the PDP then, and for them to come to the power. That is, you cannot pick a particular person who has a particular ambition around that time. For instance, recently, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, you see Amechi talking about just only spending one single term if he eventually becomes the president. Peter Obi was saying the same thing. Everybody is like they come together about and this presidential something that we are talking about, it's only one person that will occupy it. But doing the merger that formed APC, they were not talking about ambition. They were ready to cooperate just to wrestle power and to put a party. Anybody that emerged as president that time, they agreed. But this time, how are they going to do it when it comes to the center stage? That is another problem. So I don't think they have made. They have not really come out with a concrete objective. What you have been hearing about coalition is that I want to be president. If you in Nigeria give me opportunity to be elected to be president, I'm going to spend a single term. That is what you have been hearing. So to me, the founder of the coalition, they have frustrated politicians desperately seeking for political relevance in a superficial manner.
Yes, we said something just now that the individual interest, not to get power. Amechi has said so. Labour Party, Peter Obi says so. I think Atiku said similar to that. He will fight. He will not allow rigging or something like that. Irregularities during the election, during the forthcoming election. Yes, if we continue this way, do you see the party succeeding? That is number one question. The other question is this: is it not too early? We are talking about, yes, maybe we don't actually know what the Obi will be the background, the agreement between all of them. I'm very sure before they come together to form a coalition, there must have been a written or unwritten agreement that okay, if you eventually succeed, you present a presidential candidate, you present a party chairman, you present this chairman. Do you see anything of such? So if that is in place, is it not too early for us to say so person is seeking power, so person is power drunk or whatever?
To me, the way it occurred is that I see people who are coming together for their own personal interest. That's what I see in them, and to me also, they've not been fair to the owners, the real owners of ADC.
Okay.
When they merged, I expected, okay, even if the chairman is not going to be, they adopted a political party.
Yeah.
So I expected the owner of the party at least to be secretary of that party. And now you hijacked the key positions from them. Who will now show you the road? Are they going to give us another manifesto different from what ADC believe in? Are they going to sit down to write another philosophy for that party, ideology of that party? And with that also, they've not really shown us any concrete evidence that they are serious about what they are doing. They've not given us that.
Also, the party structure at the state levels, I'm very sure the party is present in some states across the country.
Yes,
the party has been in existence.
Yes, that's why I said
the party has been in existence before, but the fact is that it's not that strong. In some states, they don't know the party, and now they've not given us what the party believes in, and they've not given us their agreement, what they want to work on, the working paper of those coming together, what they work on. They didn't give that to us, and if you look at all these things, it's just like they are sitting on the gunpowder, and in future, in earnest, there may be problem in that party, and the problem will now be more, because if you look at each of them coming together, they are not leaving their party, their present party.
Yeah.
Atiku will still tell you I am PDP. Obi will still tell you I belong to Labour Party. El-Rufai will say he's still in SDP, and even Amechi will still tell you I belong to APC, and and they are still telling you that they are coming together in one political party to rescue power. So it's just like they want to see what will happen in that place, and if it doesn't succeed, then they will run back. That's just what I'm saying, and I don't see these people as people who are actually serious about making positive changes in Nigeria.
Yeah, before we leave this segments of the program, that is this topic, let us look at, yes, there will be opposition party. What are those things we expect from an opposition party in the country? You know, since 1999, when this democracy started, there was a time PDP was there. PDP was there as a party, and we knew how the opposition, APC, performed, the performance of the opposition party then, to checkmate the excesses and raise some questions as regards the governance then. And now that APC is there, we know what is happening as regards PDP and other opposition. So now, ahead of 2027 election, what are those qualities we would like to see in the opposition party that will make us believe that yes, these people are serious and these people are actually checkmating, want to checkmate the ruling party?
Okay, there are so many things that we expect from the opposition party. Majorly, the role of opposition party is to alert the governments in power, to checkmate them, to hold them accountable. To alert them, what I mean by alerting them is to draw their attention on the areas what they have not been doing what they have been doing wrongly, what they have not been doing well, so that in order to let the government in power know what they are supposed to do. But with the kind of the coalition that we are having now, is this coalition supposed to be at the helms of affairs when it comes to the issue of opposition, drawing the attention of the government, checkmating them, making them to be accountable for what? But instead of that, each of those political bigwigs, they have been campaigning for themselves, and it's not even yet for presidential campaign. Everybody is busy campaigning for himself. This is what I will do. This is what I. So nobody, as far as APC, the ruling party, is concerned, nobody, there's no opposition party. Nobody is. The PDP that are supposed to be the opposition, the political leaders in the PDP, they are for abandon their party to our coalition because of presidential ambition. So also the ALP. So the opposition who is supposed to, the opposition that is supposed to checkmate the government in power, to hold them accountable, to draw them to what they are supposed to do, what they are not doing well, they are busy chasing coalition for against 2027. I
remember when during the former president Muhammadu Buhari, the screening of ministers. I don't know if you still remember the case of one of the ministerial nominees, the information minister then, what the Senate president asked, said, Lai Mohammed.
The way he was speaking against the government in power then.
So the way he was speaking against the government in power then, the way he was portraying APC then, before eventually the party won the election, and during the screening, Senate president as a member then, the name sounds as lie, something like so. What's your addition to what? Do you have any addition to what?
Yes, they actually, if they want to, if the ADC actually want to break even, then that means it has to be able to. They have to do their paperwork very well, have a genuine intention. The intention should be documented. Then they should be able to put their house in order, because that is in future. People are giving. I've seen people giving them 6 months. People are saying the next 6 months there will be a problem, and if we want democracy to thrive in Nigeria, actually, the way, if we want to consolidate our democracy, we need a viable opposition party. An opposition that will know its duty, that will be able to speak against government when it's wrong, an opposition that will be able to comment the government of the day when it's right, yes. And the opposition that will know the right thing to do at the right time, not the opposition that will be busy chasing the power and
personal ambition.
Personal ambition. So they have to put all this in place before we can say we have a viable opposition against the present administration.
Yeah, before we move to the issue of court ruling on Natasha's case, let me just ask this question. There is this altercation in the rivalry between Amechi and the Minister for Federal Capital Territory. Do you see any sort of distraction to distract their attention of the coalition, or to force the coalition, the caliber of persons in the coalition, or what?
In as much I don't want to dive into their issues, but I believe that they've known themselves before now. They are from the same states. Amicha has been the governor of Rivers State, and Wike also have been the governor of Rivers State. And what I think is just they are trying to beef themselves, and they've been trying. They want to know who has the more power when it comes to control of the state, and which is very important to every politician. Every politician wants to have the masses. Every politician wants to have the people behind him or her, and it's very important. Don't forget, Wike said, I listened to one of his interview, and he said he still want to be relevant. That is the reason he was fighting Fubara. That he wants to be relevant. He does not want to be irrelevant. And Amaechi also wants to be relevant.
He wants to come back.
He wants to come back. He wants to be relevant in his state. And Rivers State, let's know it right now. Rivers State is one of the biggest states in the country. And when it comes to where we get the resources that feeds this country, we point to Rivers State as well. And because of that, anybody who has the political power in that place is in a state like that is like demigod, and that is what is happening to Wike. And I don't see what they're just doing is trying to play on our emotions and everything. And the truth is that the politicians, as I do say, I was showing a film to some friends in the newsroom this afternoon, and when we were watching that film, I told them, can you see the politicians? Can you see what they do behind us? But when they are friends. When they come to our face, you see, they come to our face, they fight, and when they see themselves, you see how they play.
Yes. Do you have any addition to that? Because time is not our friend at all. So.
Well, you know, the two former governors, they fell out before 2015 election. So since that time, it has been accusations and counter accusations between two of them. Even the FCT minister took it higher, took it higher during last Sunday at a church in Abuja, when he started a lot of political outbursts on the former governor Amaechi and maybe some other political colleagues. So it has been like that. But like what people normally say, no permanent enemy, that's why the fact that they are enemies now today, they can become friends tomorrow. So that's
what we are seeing in the coalition already, because El-Rufai somewhere before, Amaechi somewhere before, Peter Obi somewhere before, Atiku
Arepeshola used to be the loyalist of the president, so now the staunch enemy. You know?
Yes, we still continue to look at what we continue to unfold in a few as we approach to 2027. Yes, a federal court in Abuja last weekend ruled that Senator Akpoti Natasha should be recalled by Senate, that the 6 months suspension was too excessive. What is your take, your reaction to this?
Well, the judgment of the court is a very good, it's a good development, but the challenge now is that the court has only pronounced the judgment; it has not been effected. What we had was that they are still expecting the certified true copy of the judgment, but the question is that since the judgment has been delivered, what is delaying the certified true copy? That is what we don't know. By now, the certified true copy should have been provided so that the senator can resume. So, but I think yesterday the Senate spokesperson, Senator Yemi Adamodu, said they are still waiting for the copy. That when they see the copy, then they will now sit on it and know the next action. It's a good development, but at least they should expedite action so that the senator can resume and start representing our. But on a good note, the senator spoke after the judgment that even despite the fact that she was on suspension, that she has been working. There is no day that she's not working, at least in the interest of her constituents. But one thing is that even looking at this scenario from maybe reaction to maybe allocation or reallocation of seats and all those things, and at the end of the day, the next thing for the Senate is to slam a 6 month suspension on her. That is too excessive. It's too hefty. Even if the Senate has found out that at least found a reaction maybe too not satisfying enough, there could have been a milder penalty, not 6 months. The Senate should have at least considered the constituency that she's representing before taking that kind of action.
Yes, Kelechi, there is this issue when we are doing a government talk, say power corrupt, absolute power corrupt, absolutely. Now, the court said the penalty was too excessive. So is that an example of that statement?
Yes, what I think the Senate wanted to do, according to court, was as simple as telling her that they want to suspend her permanently. And if they have, according to court, the Senate has 181 days to sit in a year. And you suspended her for 6 months. That is 180 days. And that means she will only have a day to represent the people of our constituency. And that is too much. At least they will have considered the people she's representing and try to see how. Court is saying that the Senate has power to punish its member, but the fact is that you have to do you shouldn't use
moderation about it.
You shouldn't use a big stone to kill a cockroach.
The power should not be overused.
You're able to look at what you want to the kind of punishment you will administer to ensure that you don't deprive the people she's representing, and that is what Senate has eventually failed on. Senate has been able to give the punishment that is so excessive that court even pronounced being excessive. Though the reason why they've not given the copy of that judgment is what we don't know now.
Yes, before as we go on the program today, now the court, I think the sword was used both for Senate and for the. So your party word as regards this, because Natasha too was penalized for going outside the court ruling to speak. So your party word on this.
I'll just tell the politicians to try and ensure they control their emotions, especially those who are representing the people at the red chamber and the green chamber, that they should be moderate in the way they speak, and they should consider their constituents.
Yes, I don't meet you.
Okay. Okay. Prioritize equity in our society for the sake of democracy.
Thank you very much, and that will be the size of the program today. Thank you, Mrs. Adewumi Ademiju, for coming on the program, and Kelechi David for coming on the program. Until next week, when we shall be meeting again for another edition, my name is Olushola Thomas. Enjoy the rest of your day.